So Mark, Sam, over to you. Thanks very much.
Fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for joining us this afternoon. I know it's a crazy time, so I hope the next half an hour, 45 minutes, we can give you a little bit of insight into what's happening from government funding's perspective, but also I'm quite an optimist about life. There's always things you could be doing, making things better, improve. And that's what I'm spending a lot of our time over the last couple of weeks talking to clients about how they can use this time to get their businesses ready for when all this kind of blows over. So we prepared a few slides, nothing major. And then what we'll do is I'll share my screen. Sorry, I'm a bit of it. That one. And then, so Sam will cover off some of the government funding. Let me put that up there. And then, hold your questions till the end. I'm going to try and fly through these bits and pieces as best as we can, because I know you all have different questions to ask, and I'd rather get to that rather than just talking about other topics. So a little bit about Modus. We're a group of quite a few different companies. So we've got an accountancy firm, obviously, which provides business advice, coaching, and also compliance. We've got a property company, a lettings company, and investment developments, as well as a coaching academy company. So you can kind of see we're getting hit at the moment from all different angles. So our accountancy business, our lettings business is really busy, and our property and investment development companies have all kind of ground to a halt because of all this. So bit of a tale of two halves. So what we'll do is we'll talk through some of the stuff we're doing, both from a point of view of what we have to do to kind of survive in terms of the next 2 or 3 months, but also how you can innovate and move your business forward. So what we'll be doing is covering off the latest government information on the self-employed, which Sam will go through. So Sam's a chartered accountant, works for Modus and joined us in February. So it was in addition to the team. What to do and getting through the lockdown, and then things to do to get your business ready. So if that sounds good to everyone, we will jump straight into the government funding update. Over to you, Sam.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll talk through the self-employment scheme, which is the one that a lot of people are interested in at the moment, the most recent scheme to be announced. So the other main scheme for employees is the job retention scheme, and the self-employed income support scheme is obviously the other one that's took a little bit longer to be announced. And I think the government struggled really to structure it in such a way that it would capture as many of the target people as possible. And there are holes in it, and unfortunately, there are people that are going to fall through the net with the scheme, unfortunately. So I'll talk you through what the scheme is and how it works and the criteria of it. So it's taxable grant of 80% of your average monthly profits over the past 3 years. And to clarify, so that's 16, 17, 17, 18, and 18, 19. And that is a non-repayable grant, not a loan. It's not prorated at any point in the year. So if you started trading midway through 18, 19, they'll look at those 6 months of profits as the whole year's profit, essentially, not prorata it, or not double it, to prorata it. It's capped at 2,500 per month. So any more than that, that's the maximum you'll get. You must have filed your 18-19 tax return by the 23rd of April. So if you haven't done so, there's still time. Obviously, we do that, so get in touch if you need any support on that, and we can help you through that. One thing that I've had some questions on is, do I need to stop working to get to be eligible? No, you do not. To get onto this scheme, you don't need to evidence that you stopped working or even been adversely affected by COVID-19. You just need to have covered off the other criteria on the that we're going through at the moment. You don't need to stop working. So it's for self-employed and partnerships with trading profits of up to 50k per year. So if your average trading profits over those relevant 3 years is 51k, you're not eligible. If it's 49k, you are eligible. It's clear cut as that. And the majority of your income must be from self-employment. So it's the grant is payable in June for a quarter of your average profits. So just to give you an example for that, if the average profits for those 3 years was 20k, you'll receive 5k of taxable grants in June as one lump sum payment. You must, if you only became self-employed since the 6th of April 2019, then you're not eligible for the scheme at all, unfortunately.
There are a few holes.
Yes, but people need to know the holes.
Yeah.
There's no application process. HMRC will use existing information to check eligibility and invite those applicants to apply once the scheme's operational. One of the biggest holes that a lot of people fall into, unfortunately, is the limited companies for the directors that pay themselves through dividends, or dividends and PAYE. If it's only dividends, then you're not eligible at all. If it's dividends and PAYE, you are eligible on the job retention scheme for the salary element, so for the PAYE element. In terms of what you do, if you need, obviously this is going to be paid in June, or if you're not eligible at all, there's options. So the business interruption loan, just to clarify, that is 100% repayable by you, and it varies from 12-month interest-free loans to short-term overdraft facilities. And there's various lenders that are offering those, so look into those.
So that's a great opportunity, a great way to fund the gap. So if you are self-employed and you can't wait till June to get that lump sum, whatever you need, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand, look to get it on an interest-free overdraft facility, because when then the grant money comes in June, you can just pay that off and it wouldn't have incurred you any additional costs. So be familiar with whatever funding is available out there for you, and make use of it.
Absolutely. And another good thing that they've introduced is hopefully businesses or individuals would have put aside some cash in expectation of having to pay the self-assessment tax due in July, which is now postponed until 31st of Jan 21. And you can therefore use this cash to get through these few months. Also, they've made big changes to the universal credit. So providing you don't have more than 16k of savings, just apply or look into applying, and whatever you're eligible for is worth doing. There's a 3-month mortgage holiday. That's a very straightforward process. The mortgage providers they don't ask for much information. Just do it if you need to do it. And if you have a business premises that is rated, you'll be eligible for one of the cash grants depending on the rateable value of the office, the size of the office. So that's one to look into. And the last thing is just to reduce your outgoings as much as you can. A lot of suppliers are quite flexible and doing what they can to pause payments and just put postponement on payments or direct debits. So it's just worth asking the question, just doing what you can to get through.
Yeah, getting through the lockdown, as I said, we've got multiple businesses within the Modus Group, and our property company up north is effectively a construction company with turns about £1 million, and it's currently got 8 or 9 projects on the go, with probably 5 coming through, supposed to come through in April. Within 2 weeks, we had to basically mothball that business because obviously construction work couldn't happen. We couldn't get into people's homes and we couldn't run that. So yeah, getting through the lockdown, it's, I've put a few little bullet points up there, but this is all stuff that we're doing ourselves for our own businesses. But obviously our other businesses, like the letting agents, is actually going berserk. We've got to do a lot of work with the letting agents, and our accountancy firm is getting a lot of inquiries, not only from existing clients, but new clients wanting support, guidance to go through all this, because it's not just about compliance. It's about how do you navigate the best way through this, because these times are absolutely unprecedented. No one's kind of ever been through this before. So obviously, as Sam alluded to, reducing your costs, it sounds obvious, but literally go through your list of overheads and go through each line It's a great exercise to do. I've been talking to a lot of clients in the last few weeks, and they've shaved thousands of pounds of their overheads of stuff that they probably wouldn't even bring back online when the restrictions lift. So it's a fantastic exercise to do for any business, going through your costs and making sure that every single cost in the business is actually going to drive value. So doing that is a fantastic exercise. Call all your suppliers, explain what's going on, even if you owe them money, or if there's some terms you can do, extend your terms a bit longer. Just call everybody up. I'm finding that there's only one supplier that I know of that's been a bit funny with terms that we've helped deal with. Everyone else, landlords, every landlord that I've spoken to, or either on behalf of the client or our clients, they're all pretty flexible. Our company up north, we've got half price rental for the rest of the year until we get powered back up again. Another one of our clients turns about 4 million. The landlord said 3 months rent free, and they'll review it again in June. So everyone's pretty open to it, but you have to make that call. And I know none of us really want to, because we all want to pay our bills and we all want to keep things going, but everyone is being really flexible right now. So it's about survival. It's about making sure you've got enough cash to get through this. And then when you come through the other side, you want to make sure your business is ready to go and take advantage of those, of the opportunities that will no doubt be there. Obviously, as Sam alluded to, know what support is available. There's all sorts of things going on. I'm talking to banks most of the days, finding out, who's doing what. Funding at this moment in time is obviously a lifeline. So there are overdrafts, there's interest-free loans. Get in touch with your bank and find out what they're offering. And I'd say do that early, because you may not need the money now, but we don't know how long this is going to last. Now, I'm an eternal optimist. I'm hoping we're all going to be back to work and running around and growing the economy in May. That's probably a little bit optimistic given what's happening around the world. So it might go on for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. We just don't know. So my advice is get funding, even if you don't need it. Had a great call with a client last night. They are really well capitalized. They've actually done really well the last couple of years. And they're pretty relaxed about all of this. They're like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. And I said to them, let's have a little exercise. Let's take out, all your working capital, and let's just put 1 month's worth of overheads in there. What kind of decisions would you be making right now? And they changed how they looked at their business, because you just don't know how long it's going to last. So get funding, and if you don't need it, because it's 12 months interest free. So if you don't need the money, just pay back. But at least you've got it, you can relax. And then also when you come back and say, who knows when we're all going to get back to normal, there will be opportunities on the other side. And fortune favors those who prepare. So this is also a fantastic opportunity to start preparing for what's to come. And I'll cover that off in a little bit. We've got 14 minutes, which is great. And off the, innovate wherever possible. Now, obviously, if you're a shop, quite difficult to do because you have to shut down. Obviously, if you're an airline, can't really innovate much. But I know certain shops, I don't know if you've got in your local area. I saw a printer cartridge shop delivering printer cartridges outside my house the other day. Oxford Wine Company was delivering wine to the neighbours. I almost went over and find out what he had in the back of his van. So there's a lot of businesses innovating and trying to find ways in which to generate revenue during these times. I know taxi drivers are offering to do shopping for people, in terms of getting revenue for just keep their bills down. So just look at everything. If you want to have a 10-minute call with me or Sam or some, just to kind of talk through what it is your business does, because sometimes it's just a separate set of opinions or fresh eyes in your business can help. I know a couple of our clients have launched some pretty cool things in the last few weeks to try and get around the restrictions and offer some really cool innovative things to the community. So yeah, reduce your costs, get that funding in place, know what support's available, apply for everything, whether it's grants, whether it's looking at what staff you might need to furlough, go through and just get as much as you can into your business as possible. As I said, you just don't know how long this is going to last, so rather be prepared, and then you've got enough resource and capital to get through no matter how long this lasts. And then it comes on to my favorite piece. So Modus Accountants is a little bit different. We're set up by entrepreneurs, myself, for entrepreneurs. Obviously, we've got great chartered accountants that run the day-to-day, but it's all about making sure that your business is ready. So we do a lot of business coaching within our firm. And when I've been coached for about 12 years now, coached hundreds of businesses, and the biggest challenge that most business owners tell me is they don't have enough time to implement the things that they've always wanted to implement. Now, I know you're all sitting there thinking, what should I do? We've got to get our sales in. And yes, absolutely. And as we just covered off, getting cash and resource and grants and loans and whatever you need to get that into your business, so you've got enough capital to last you the next 6 months. But when all this comes back, what are you going to do, and how are you going to kind of reposition your business? So this is a great opportunity to reset, go through your entire business, and have a good look at what you need to be doing to get your business to drive forward. So we all have time right now, or a little bit more time. Use it wisely. There's a tool attached to this presentation which you're all welcome to use. It's called the Business Model Canvas. It's got a worksheet that sit behind it. I used to run this a long time ago for Growth Accelerator. It was a day strategy workshop, and it created a lovely heat map of how of the areas of your business which are strong at what needs work. So I would encourage you to take that away and really think about what it is you're going to do when all this goes. So review every area of your business. So I'll just show you, this is the Business Model Canvas. So every area of your business sits on here. So have a look at your value proposition. Have a look at, what are the things that you want to be doing in terms of how do you promote your business. Review your marketing plan. So let's say we all go back to work and the restrictions are lifted in June. What's the first thing you're going to do to start revving your engine and getting more business to come towards you? All your clients, great opportunity to review your clients. So if you just look at the Business Model Canvas as a whole, you've got your value proposition, you have clients, delivery, relationships, and this big box down here called cash. And then you've got the engine room, which is your team, the resources, suppliers. So it's a really good opportunity to review every area. Review your clients, go through which clients are the ones you really like to work with, which ones, are a bit of a pain. Segment them all out and get rid of the ones that are a pain, because you can go find some new ones that'll be great to work with. Review your delivery. So how do you deliver your product or service to your end user? Have a look at making that better. How can you, improve? It's the little things as well. Maybe it's bringing in, that CRM system that you've always meant to put in place. I was chatting to an electrician yesterday. He's been busy. We've been working together for about 2 months now. Hasn't been able to get his CRM implemented. Hasn't been able to get, payment, credit card details to get payments over, something like Go Card or something like that. We had a great session yesterday in the morning, and he's obviously sitting at home and he's putting all these things into his business. So when he comes back online, his business will be upgraded completely. We'll have everything digitalized. We'll have CRMs in place. We'll have all the accounts in zero. We'll have his suppliers catalog talking to his business management system. So his quotes will take no time at all. So these are the kind of things that you can be doing whilst we're all sitting at home in our PJs. And just working through the best things. So everyone knows their business pretty well, and everyone knows what you should be doing. And we're all pretty good at making excuses as to why we haven't done it. So great opportunity now to kind of think about where it is. And if you want to have a quick, 10, 15-minute call with me, just to talk through your business and where you should be working on and what you should be doing, please feel free to take up that offer. We've all got a bit more time on our hands, and I would love to help as many people as I can. So just to tell you a little bit more about this canvas, it is actually got quite a bit of work attached to all of them. So behind each one of those boxes, there's a little worksheet. So for instance, the value proposition, our customers fully understand and appreciate our value proposition. Answer these questions for yourself. If you're not sure, jump on a call, happy to talk you through it. But at the end of it, you should have something that looks a bit like that. So you have some areas that are strong, some areas that need improving, and maybe some areas which aren't great, but obviously could do with a little bit more work. So that's probably my biggest bit of advice on this call, is get ready for what's about to come, because again, being an internal optimist, January time, we had a really good, strong economy. We had house prices going up quickly. We had unemployment at record lows. The FTSE was at a high, and all of a sudden, this virus just put a pressure on the whole world. But I would believe the underlying economy should bounce back quickly, providing this lockdown doesn't happen for too long. So if anybody did want to take up, I've run through that too quickly. Go back. There's some contact details right at the end. If you can just email, there we go, hello@modusaccountants.co.uk. We'll make sure you get a slot booked in with either myself or Sam. And I said, it's just your opportunity to kind of talk through your business and find out ways in which, how you can get through this and as least unscathed as possible, and hopefully a bit stronger. And then secondly, when we do go back, be prepared, be ready, have your marketing strategy ready to go, review your sales process, review all your systems and processes, make sure that they're ready to go. Review your team, obviously, have a great opportunity to kind of see who you want in your team, who do you need in your team. So it is a really brilliant opportunity to get your business into a place where you want it to be. So I think that takes us on to 24 minutes. So we got some Q&A. If anybody has any burning questions, by all means, ask away.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, we've got a couple of questions so far. David Barnes. So David runs a chauffeur company, excellent chauffeur.
Yeah, hi, Dave.
And Dave's got a question for you if you want to come on screen, David. Is he still there?
He's muted. Hang on, I'll unmute. Yeah. There we go. We can hear you now.
Okay, cool. So I run a chauffeur business, and it's a family business that we started in 17, 18.
Yep.
So we have 17 accounts. We have 18, 19 accounts. That's all the government got to go on. As with a lot, if not most, I mean, you're an accountant, so you know better than me. But as with a lot of sort of small businesses, our first year was a loss. Our second year, we managed to break even. I'm told by our accountants that was pretty good to do that. And our third year, we were scheduled to make a bit of a small profit, but at least it was in the black. But of course, the 3-year average of loss and zero makes no contribution from the government to help us. I've already contacted our local MP to say, there's obviously a gap. We're not the only one in the country like this. There's bound to be many more. No, it's not a large percentage of the self-employed workforce, but it is a significant number of people in the same situation as us. Do you know if there's any talk on the breakdown about any support for us? Because we have none.
Yeah, the owners of small limited companies have fallen through the cracks. So I'm hoping, we've not heard anything, factual that they're going to bring something in, but a bit like when they launched the employee, support, and then there was a big outcry about the self-employed. The next outcry now is, what about people that, are directors of small businesses? So they're not technically employed, if you like. They are self-employed, but they have a limited company. So whether they'll be able to put something in place, we'll see. It will be very difficult for the government to do it because it would be open to people manipulating it pretty well, pretty easily. So we just got to wait and see. But unfortunately, yeah, the limited company owner that has dividends and a small salary, that is what we do fall through the cracks. Anything on that? From
I'm not in the company, I'm a sole trader at the moment.
If you're a sole trader, that's then yeah, have a look at your accounts. It depends what you've put through there. So presumably with a chauffeur company, what have you written off in terms of depreciation and everything else? So you might be able to adjust those and say, well, actually, if you suppress the profit because of depreciation write-off, but you've been taking home a different amount than what the accounts are showing, then it might be worth having a look at those numbers. And then if you are self-employed, you hopefully will be able to at least justify or prove that you've been taking X amount home every month. That will be covered up to 80%.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a look.
Happy to look at the accounts if you want to send it over to us. Have a quick look at it and just see, how the accounts have been structured. I'm sure they're absolutely perfect, but if there's some way we can look at it and say, well, actually, if this wasn't quite this way, then obviously you would be able to show a different kind of profit.
Yeah, it'd be tricky, but at this moment in time, Dave, you would fall outside eligibility. But as Mark said, it is changing all the time. So it may be that something does come in that would help you, which we're monitoring it constantly and updating our website, etc. But at this moment in time, you would fall out. You wouldn't be eligible.
It's a shame because we've got, obviously, Richard has used us, but we've got such a huge following, massive amount of reviews, and 85 of them was a 4-star on Google. So there is a demand out there for our services, but if we received absolutely nothing from the government, then the business obviously is at risk. So yeah, we'll do as you say. Thank you.
Yeah, by all means. I mean, we are monitoring it. We put together a little website that should go live today, actually. It's in conjunction with some HR, local HR support, UHR, OX365 for IT support, some finance by Ian Roberts. It's just a little website. I think it's called COVID Business Support, COVID-19 Business Support.co.uk. So we've just collaborated with a bunch of people that I think can provide lots of information. So I'll send that out later when it goes live, and then that's going to be the portal where all of us put updated information on. So hopefully, when something comes out and they do kind of help cover all the cracks, then we'll let you know. Yeah.
Cheers, Mark.
You're welcome. Any other questions, guys?
Yes, thank you, David. We've got a question from Stephen Spencer. Just wanted a couple of examples of the sort of support banks offer to sole trader businesses. We've not already covered that off with
yeah, so what I've seen with the loan forms, they basically, it's one loan form for kind of whether you're an LLP, partnership, a sole trader, or a limited company. What I've heard from people that are working in banks, they're obviously inundated with loan requests. So they are processing them pretty quickly. But even as a sole trader, you will qualify for a CBIL loan. So if you need some interest-free money to help get through this, or at least tie you over until the payment in June comes through, then yeah, definitely make use of it. But get in as soon as you can, because as you can imagine, they're getting bombarded. Also, go with who you're banking with. I've been speaking to, I'm sure you all know Grant from Metro Bank. I've been chatting to him this morning. So Metro and RBS, just for FYI, they're not asking for personal guarantees. The rest all are. So the government are backing any kind of loan they do, but up to 80%. But all the other banks want 100% from the person they're lending to in terms of guarantees. So they want 180% coverage, I believe. So that might change in the coming weeks. But right now, Metro have said no PGs for up to £250,000, minimum loan 25, and RBS have said similar. So the support for lending money, funds, overdraft is there for sole traders all the way through to limited companies.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that getting early?
Stephen?
Yeah, thank you very much. You said minimum loan 25,000. Just to explain, I'm a tourism consultancy business, so and I work with other freelancers as associates. So yeah, I've got relatively low overheads. The challenge I have is really just to have cash flow to tide me over, and obviously to be able to continue to focus 100% on preparing my business for the opportunities after the crisis. Do I need 25,000? Would it be appropriate for me to ask for 25,000? By the way, I have traded profitably over the last 3 years, so I will be eligible for the government scheme.
It might be better getting an overdraft then, maybe interest-free overdraft. Yeah. The interest-free overdraft is probably up to 25,000. That's when the loan kick in.
Okay.
So maybe go for an interest-free overdraft. Those should be a bit easier to get in place as well, because I've just seen the Lloyd's loan form, which I've had a look at, is about 3 pages. The Santander one, I think they want my kids as security. So just go through it. Go to who you bank with first, because banks are looking after their customers first. Obviously, everybody wants to bank with RBS now and Metro because they're not asking for PGs, which if you bank with those two, that's great. But if you don't, go with your existing bank, see what they can offer, and just work out what you need in terms of, say, let's just pretend this is going to last for 6 months.
Yeah.
Get funding in place for 6 months and get it now, rather than you get to June, July, and this hasn't blown over yet, and then you go ask for it and it's a bit late. Because banks are slightly differently now, but generally they kind of lend to you when you don't need it, and when you do need it, they don't.
Sure.
So just if you need some lending, or you think you might need some lending, it's going to be interest free. So even if you get a 10, 15 grand overdraft or a loan and just sits in your bank and you do nothing with it, you can just prepay it if you don't need it. But if you've got it, then you can use it. But equally, when all this comes back, and part of getting prepared for kind of relaunch, if you like, or restarting the economy, is to have some capital around, because marketing costs money. Driving your business growing businesses are cash hungry. So rather have some kind of stored up capital to get your business back on track and give you that kind of initial energy to kind of get going. You don't want to have to think about, I can't run that ad because I need £200. You just want to get on with it.
Great, that's really helpful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Stephen. Okay, we've got 2 more questions, both from the same person. Amanda, I'm not sure if you want to come on screen or you want me to ask for you. Oh, there she is. Do you want to unmute? There you go.
Am I on? Yeah.
You are.
Hello there. Hi,
Hi.
Sam and Mark. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was very informative. I am a director of my own company, Endeavour Consulting. So I pull dividends and I also pay myself.
Yep.
So you mentioned there was there's potential scheme on the PAYE that I could possibly look at claiming for. Do you have any further information about that at all?
Yeah,
Sounds like a good department, Sam.
yeah. So so it's the job retention scheme. So you would need to furlough yourself,
Okay.
which essentially means lay yourself off. But so slightly odd. But it's backdated. You can backdate it to the 1st of March, and it's a similar structure to the self-employment in that you get 80% of your salary for that period of time.
Not dividend, unfortunately.
Yeah,
No.
so whatever salary you pay yourself, you'll receive 80% of that, which is again taxable. But yeah, that's how that's structured.
And how do you go about doing that? Is it something that my accountant would assist me with, or
Who does your payroll?
Who does your payroll? Yeah.
my accountant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, and then the online port, the HMRC portal isn't yet operational.
Okay.
Once that's up and running, your accountant will then obviously pay you the relevant amount, and then it'll need to be claimed back through that online portal once it's up and running.
Okay.
I think that's it. They're expecting it to be mid to late April, that portal, and then you can start receiving that 80% back from the government.
Okay. Lovely. Can I ask another question?
Yes.
Of course you can.
I have an outstanding liability of personal tax that's due in July. What happens with that?
Any payments due to HMRC, they're being very flexible in terms of postponing them. So ring HMRC and just say, due to COVID-19, please can I, and highly likely they'll say yes, we'll postpone it for either 3 months or whatever. But yeah, absolutely ring them and get that postponed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for your help.
Okay.
I think that's everything. I think that's everybody. Really appreciate your time, both Mark and Sam. Thank you very much. And as
You're very welcome.
As we said from the outset, both Sam and Mark are more than happy for you to contact them direct if you've got any queries. Obviously, got plenty of time on your hands, boys, which is nice. But no,
we're good at juggling between around trying to get into the office.
You're a lot better at it than I am. That's all I can say.
No, it is a strange time, but I mean, we're never going to get an opportunity like this where you can hang around your family for most of the day, which is kind of cool in some ways. You need some beer by the afternoon, but it's good fun.
But you can last until the afternoon. Good going. I'm sure there's some thinking about it a couple of hours ago. Brilliant. Well, lovely to see you both. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Joining us. And tomorrow we have Jeanette Cardy. So if anybody does want to step up their fitness activities, tune into Jeanette. And we've got these talks every day. Just a couple of slides just to finish off, if Keith and Rob can just share the screen. So we've got some, on the B4 website, we've got latest updates through the B4 community support pages, and Colin's providing us with a COVID government update every morning. So that will go on to the long list of bullet point government releases every day. We have B4 Live, so you can go direct to that particular page to see what talks we've got coming up. So we've got Jeanette tomorrow, Chris on Thursday, Joe Bentley on Friday. He's highlighting the register here buttons where you can register for the events as you've done for today's talk. We're getting these booked up quite a long way in advance, which is great. And if you miss any, you can always go back and watch the video links of all past talks. Again, Keith highlighting the link there. And Mark's talk, as we said from the outset, will be sent to you this afternoon with today's presentation slides as well, and Mark and Sam's contact details. For anybody not a B4 member, we're opening up B4 to everybody for the next 90 days. So if you're an individual or you've got a business and you'd like to take advantage of B4 membership digital benefits, which are outlined on the website. Visit the B4 website. At the top of the page, you'll see 90-day trial, sign up, and we'll get you started. So that's 90-day, no obligation, no credit card details or anything. It's just open to you. You can cancel it at the end of those 90 days. If it helps provide you with support like we've had today from Mark and Sam, then great. We're happy to do so. So thank you again, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Stay safe and well.